Congratulations! You've decided to dedicate this time to yourself and you've made it on your mat again. My name's Alex. Thanks for joining me. And today's flow, we're going to be working on our back, shoulders, and chest, opening those areas up. We're also going to throw a little hip action into the mix. These might be areas where you're storing a little bit of tension through your day, or maybe you had a tough workout. Either way, it's going to make you feel good and get a little loose. Also, it's a beautiful day where you're at, like it is for me here. I highly encourage you to get outside, get that vitamin D, maybe get a little tan on too. Anyway, with that, let's shut up and flow, starting in our child's pose, opening those knees wide, taking those arms long on your mat, laying your head down, letting it hang heavy, not storing any tension in the neck. Let's take 3 breaths here. Using these 3 breaths just to center ourselves in the present moment. Like I said, we're choosing to dedicate this time, so let's give a good effort to fully give it to ourselves. Last breath. Great. Now, keeping in child's pose, you're just going to come up on the tips of your fingers, tenting your fingers, keeping your head low, and really trying to push up through the top of your back where your shoulder blades are. Opening up this area and releasing back down. Let's do 2 more. When you're ready, tent those fingers, pushing up through the shoulder blades and lowering down. Let's do 1 more, tenting those fingers, pushing up through the shoulder blades. We're still breathing. Very good. Releasing. Coming up onto all fours. We're going to do a rolling cat and cow. So keeping your knees a little bit wider, you're going to sit back like a child's pose and then roll up, waving through the top of your back, and then dropping your belly as you come down to your hips. Let's add a little breath work into that. So inhale, coming up, waving to the top of your mat. Exhale, dropping your belly, pushing back to your heels. Inhale, waving all the way up. Exhale, dropping back. Few more at your own pace, using that breath to help guide your movements. Very good. Last one. And coming back up to tabletop, let's add a little bit of that hip action I was talking about. So you're just going to, starting in this position, lean your hips back towards the left back part of your mat. Roll them through the center, coming to your right side and up. So we're making these giant circles using our hips as a guide. Just moving through it slowly, trying to work into all corners, finding that edge, finding where it's a good stretch. You don't want to go into pain. Let's switch directions. Now we're coming up, moving towards the right back, through center, left back, and back up. Very good. Let's do a couple more times. Make sure we're warming up well. Awesome. Now come to tabletop. We're going to tuck our back toes and sit on our heels. If that's too much for you and doesn't feel comfortable, feel free to sit fully on your feet. If you want that extra toe stretch, try sitting on those toes. We're just going to do some rolls, some shoulder, neck, shoulder, and arm circles. When you're ready, move your right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear, left shoulder. If you want to go all the way back, you can, or just go across your shoulders, making these neck circles slowly, gently, being kind to yourself. Nice. Let's switch directions. It was good to take a little bit of extra time to warm up these smaller areas. We don't use them as much, but they definitely store some tension. If you need to take a break, come up off your heels, readjust, come back. And let's just roll our shoulders a bit, bringing them up, back, and around. Maybe noticing any sensations the body's giving us. And switch directions, bringing them up, forward, and back. Nice. I'm going to adjust my toes one more time. Just going to do some arm circles, so keeping your left hand planted on your left thigh. Stretch your right hand and arm in front of you towards your right knee. Inhale, bring that hand up all the way to the top. Flip with the thumb forward and bring that hand behind you. And going backwards, bring that hand up to the top, flipping the thumb behind, hand forward. Let's do two more. Inhale, up, flip, exhale behind, inhale, up, flip, exhale forward. Last one. Inhale, up, flip, bringing it down behind us. Inhale, up, flip, exhaling it forward. Now, switching sides, right hand on right thigh. My toes are definitely feeling it now, but I'm gonna find my edge and just keep adjusting to make sure I'm getting a good stretch. So, left hand extended, left hand open. Inhale, arm up, flip, behind, exhale, up, flip, forward. I think I told you to exhale in the wrong way, but inhale, up, flip, exhale behind you. Inhale, up, flip, bring it on back in front of us. Last one. Inhale, up, flip, behind. Inhale, up, flip, forward. Nice. Coming onto our hands. If you're on your toes like me, maybe patting them out on the mat, pulling out our ankles a little bit. And let's start flowing a little bit. So planting your hands firmly in the mat, tuck in our toes, and lifting our hips all the way back for downward facing dog. Pedaling out those feet, maybe bending our knees, helping us push our hips back, making any adjustments we need, and finding stillness for one breath. When you're ready, on an inhale, slowly step, walk, or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slightly bend the knees, rolling all the way up to the top. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, bringing the hands up high, reaching up and back. Exhale, bringing our hands forward. Clasping our hands behind our back. Let's pull our chest open, fists down. Just for one breath. From here, you're going to bend your right knee and slightly lean towards the left, folding over. Just opening up one side. Coming back up. Let's do the other side, bending the left knee, leaning over towards the right. Maybe our hands are coming up towards the left direction. Coming back up and center. Last one, folding at the hips, straight down for our forward fold. One breath here. Gently releasing our hands, bring them down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Slightly bend the knees, grab opposite elbows. Just kind of weave your hands together, arms together, and rock side to side, maybe bending and straightening one knee and then the other for ragdoll. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. Inhale in our plank. Exhale, lower down to our mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips back, downward facing dog. Nice. Taking 2 breaths here before we start moving into our flow. Here we go, planting that left foot. Inhale, right leg up behind us. Exhale, knee to nose, hovering that knee in front of us. Inhale, lifting up and back behind us. Exhale, knee to nose, knees hovering. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, this is our last one, hovering that knee. And then stepping that foot in between our hands for runner's lunge. Taking a moment here, one breath. A little itchy from the grass, that's okay. All right, from here, bend your left knee and straighten that right leg, shifting our hips back and coming back to runner's lunge. Let's do 2 more. Bringing our leg straight, bending our left knee, coming back to runner's lunge. One more time. Bending that left knee, straightening the right, pushing back, and runner's lunge. Very good. Inhale, lift the torso up. Exhale, find your crescent lunge. Holding our crescent. Very good. Making sure our shoulders are over our hips. Shoulders are away from our ears. We don't want to be scrunched up. That's going to cause us a bit more tension. And when you're ready, gently step that left foot slightly forward and hinge over that right leg for pyramid pose. You're going to maybe feel a stretch in your calf in the back of your knee. If it's a little too tight, feel free to move your left foot forward. We don't want to be on a tightrope. We can open up our feet a little bit wider from each other in order to help us balance. Let's take one more breath. From here, plant your left hand and open up to the right side for twisted pyramid. We won't be here long. Taking one breath. And one more. Great. Bring that right hand down, frame the foot, bend the right knee, step the left toes back, and then follow with the right plank pose. Inhaling in our plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, push those hips back, coming into our down dog. Let's take 2 breaths here before moving to the other side. All right, here we go. Planting that right foot. Inhale, left foot behind us. Exhale, knee to nose, hovering that knee. Inhale, left foot up behind us. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one, 3-legged dog, left up behind. Exhale, knee to nose, holding. And step that left foot through runner's lunge. Let's do that little dynamic flow in our runner's lunge, finding our footing, and bend that right knee, straighten the left, and bring it forward. Inhale, bend that right knee, leaning over a straight left, toes up, and bringing it forward. Last one, bending that knee, left toes up, left leg straight, and bringing it forward. Very good. Finding our footing. When you're ready, inhale that torso up, exhaling into our crescent. Finding some strength here. Making sure we're on the back of our, on the back side on our right toes. Knee is over our ankle. And we're gazing in front of us. Nice job. One more breath. Awesome job. Straightening that left leg, maybe bringing that right foot forward a little bit and folding over for pyramid on the left side. I know this one can feel like a stretch for sure sometimes. So again, if you need to make it a little easier, step that right foot forward. Make sure not to be on a tightrope. Kind of want to be more on some train tracks. Wider stance helps our balance. You might also feel your right hip coming forward. That's okay, but if you can pull it back and even out those hips on the same line, on the same plane, that's great. Let's take one more breath. You're doing awesome. Very good. Planting that right hand on our mat, opening up for pyramid on the left side. Take one more breath. I know this one can be tricky. And bending that left knee, planting your left hand down, stepping both feet back into plank. Inhaling here. Exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips come back, downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths in our down dog, just to recenter ourselves again. Find our focus. Maybe our mind was drifting. Bring it on back. We're dedicating this time again to ourselves on our mat. And it's okay if your mind wanders. We want to try to be present in our practice. All right, let's keep it flowing. Planting that left foot firmly in the mat. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it in between your hands. Runner's lunge. This time, you're going to spin that left heel down and windmill the arms up to warrior 2. Checking to make sure your back foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat. You can see your right big toe to the inside of your right knee, and your shoulders are over your hips. Finding strength in this posture. I like to call my warrior 2 one of my power postures. It takes strength to be solid here, but it's also one that I like to meditate in. I feel very balanced in this posture. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm just telling you how I feel. Very good. When you're ready, take the right hand, flip the palm, and bring it up to the sky. Left hand comes down your left side gently, or maybe you bring it around to grab your right hip for reverse warrior. Reaching up and then back. We don't want to just lean back. Up and back. One more breath. Very good. Coming back out of our reverse warrior, taking our hands, clasping them behind our back, pulling our fists down, opening up that chest. And when you're ready, bringing your shoulders in between or down on the inside of your right knee for humble warrior. Taking 2 breaths here. Gently releasing your hands, framing your foot, and then straightening that right leg. Bring the right hand to your shin, ankle, or the inside of your right ankle, and opening up to the left side for triangle pose. Maybe you're getting a nice hamstring stretch here, hip stretch, reaching that left hand up to the sky. You can either gaze at your left fingertips or find a little focus point, a drishti on the floor in front of you. One more breath. Nice, rebending that right knee, framing that right foot, step back, plank pose. Inhaling here, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, hips come back, downward facing dog. Taking one breath here before we move on to the other side. Very nice. All right, let's do the left. Inhale, left hand up behind you. Exhale, step it in between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, twirl that right heel down and rainbow the arms up to warrior 2. Finding power in this posture on the left side, maybe noticing any differences between your right and left. Is your body giving you any sensations? Do you feel a little tighter on this side or a little looser? When you're ready, flip that left palm up to the sky and bring it up, 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 and bend for reverse warrior again. Finding that hand on your right thigh, or maybe bring it around to the left hip. Gently settling into this posture. Very good. One more breath. Make sure we're not just bending, reaching up and behind. Great. Bringing it forward, clasping our hands behind our back, and bringing our shoulders, left shoulder to the inside of our left knee for humble warrior. Trying to open up that back a little bit. Doing our best. You're doing great. Some of these postures aren't easy, but the more we practice, the easier they become. Let's take one more breath. Awesome. Releasing your hands down to the mat, stabilizing yourself. Straightening that left knee, bringing that left hand to the ankle, shin, or the mat, and opening up that right arm all the way to the top for triangle on the right side. Again, maybe gazing up to your fingertips or finding a spot in front of you and breathing. I hope you're still breathing. Let's take one more breath. Awesome. Rebending that left knee, bringing both of our hands down, framing that left foot, stepping back, plank pose. Inhaling in plank, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. This time, opening up our knees, and pushing back to child's pose. Taking a breath. You did great in our standing series. I'm about to slow things down. Get into some of our floor postures. We really encourage you, if you can, bring that mat outside sometimes. It might sound a little silly or a little bit of extra effort, but trust me, when the sun's out, it feels great. Taking one more breath in child's pose. Sweet. Let's bring it on back up to all fours. Planting our hands firmly into the mat, we're going to do some hip circles. Gently raising the right knee up off the mat, keeping your knee bent at a 90-degree angle. Kick that foot up behind you, out to the side for fire hydrant, and back, hovering on the mat. You just did a circle. Great job. Let's do it again and make it a little more fluid. Working in that circle. Try to go somewhat slow. We don't want to rush through this. And switch it up. Go in the other direction. Nice. Let's bring that foot on forward in between our feet. Getting into our low lunge. Bringing that torso up. Hands come high or they can come on your hips. You move in and out through your low lunge. If it feels good, finding what feels good for you. That's the name of the game. Furthering your edges a little bit each time. Seeing if you can maybe stay holding your low lunge a little longer. Or maybe you're like, hey, today I am going to try my hands coming up. Wherever you're at is great. But giving yourself little challenges can help further your practice. Let's come out of our low lunge. Bring our hands down, straightening that right leg. Bringing our toes up for half splits. Maybe making any adjustments. One more breath. Nice. Bringing those toes on down, bending that right knee, and bringing that right knee to meet your left. Let's do those hip circles on the left side. So gently lifting that left knee up, keeping your knee at a 90-degree angle, bringing it back up behind you, fire hydrant out to the side, and hovering on your mat. Let's make it fluid and flow through it. Drawing those circles with your knee. And mix it up, go the other direction. Sweet. Bringing that left foot forward in between your hands. Let's low lunge it on the left side. Hands to hips or hands to the sky, you choose. Work with what feels good. We'll always say that. And sometimes my left is not working with me on some days, and sometimes it's the better side. So changes every day. You gotta find what feels good on that day and listen to your body. Take one more breath in our low lunge. Coming back up to neutral. Straightening that left leg, left toes come up. Leaning over for half splits on this side. Great job. You might find, sometimes I do this, my right hip coming over, leaning over to the right side. Let's try to just bring those hips back, drawing that left hip forward. Again, keeping our hips on that same plane. If you need a little micro bend, Ooh, got a little critter on me. If you need a little micro bend in your knee, that's fine. Don't want to overextend yourself. Let's take one more breath. Nice. Coming on up, framing that foot and bringing that knee back to meet your right. From here, let's walk our hands down in front of us for puppy pose. You're going to keep your hips over your knees, and just extend those arms, maybe bringing your forehead down to the mat. Maybe you're feeling that shoulder expansion, shoulder opening. I really feel my shoulder blades here. Nice. Let's give it one more breath. Awesome job. Slowly drag your chest forward, coming onto your belly, and setting up for Sphinx pose. So your forearms are on the mat, elbows under your shoulders. You're just going to lift that chest up. Pulling, oh, I'm a little off my mat. You can pull your mat a little bit to pull your chest forward. Maybe turning your head to the left and evening it out, looking on to the right. Nice. Coming back to center and lowering down to your mat. This time, you're just going to bring your chest up, not using your arms, for a little baby cobra. Ooh, that breeze feels really good. And lowering down. Now you're going to extend that right arm out to a T off your mat. Bend the left knee and slowly bring your left foot over your right leg for a nice shoulder stretch. Taking 2 more breaths. Using that left hand to just keep you balanced. You don't want to push too hard. Just holding you there. Nice. Swinging gently that left leg back over. Let's switch sides. Left hand long, right hand comes to the mat, bending that right knee, bring that right foot over the left leg and planting it on the ground for a shoulder opener on the other side. Take 3 breaths in total. Nice. Coming on back over, and we're gonna totally flip it over onto our backs. Finding a comfortable spot on our mat, left leg long, right knee comes into the chest, just pulling it up towards our shoulder, and then bringing that right knee over to the left side for supine twist. Right arm comes out to a T. Maybe you're looking towards your right fingertip or gently closing your eyes. You've got sun up above you like me. They could also be your ceiling lights. Taking whatever you need to make yourself feel comfortable. Let's say one more breath here. Great. Bringing that right leg back over, extending it long on your mat. Let's bring that left knee up towards your left shoulder, pulling it in and releasing, using that right hand to guide the left knee over to the right side. Left arm comes out to a T and you gaze at your left fingertips. Try to keep that left shoulder on the mat. You don't want to be coming too far up. What I mean up is you're forcing your left knee to come down and your left shoulder to come up. You want to keep that left shoulder on the mat. Nice and coming on back. And we're going to settle into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So finding a comfortable position, legs long, arms long, closing our eyes. Maybe doing a body scan from our head, down our face, noticing our jaw, releasing any locked jaw we might have, down our neck to our shoulders, making sure they're comfortable, down our biceps and triceps to our elbows, our forearms, our wrists, noticing our hands and all of our fingers, and starting at the chest, down to our bellies, our hips, our thighs, knees, calves and shins, ankles, our feet, and lastly out to our toes. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana longer, you can just pause this video, and forget I ever started talking and continue your meditation. If you're ready to come out of Shavasana with me, wiggle your fingers and toes, waking the body back up. You're reaching your arms above your head for that full body stretch out through your fingertips, pointing through your toes, and rolling over to one side, keeping your eyes closed for the last few moments of peace. On your time, gently find your way up to a seated position, into an easy seat. Hands come to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me on your mat today. I hope your back, shoulders, maybe your chest feel a little loose. You feel a little good in your hips, and you have a wonderful day. Namaste.